as the terrifying zombie virus rapidly spreads throughout the city, creating panic. SAE Bomb's unique situation brings a glimmer of hope. SAE Bomb, despite being scratched by a zombie, not only avoids mutation but also develops antibodies against the virus. Knowing this, SAE Bomb made a deal with Tae-suk. In exchange for her cooperation in vaccine development, she requests an apartment from the military, to which Tae-suk agrees with a smile. However, there are two conditions. SAE Bomb must provide blood samples weekly for vaccine research, and the apartment application requires a married status. A tempting offer for the long homeless SAE Bomb. Upon her release from the hospital, SAE Bomb proposes this idea to Lee-hyun.
현아, 너 혹시 사귀는 사람 있어?
갑자기 뭔 소리야?
있어?
없어.
너 코고니? 이가라?
아마 아닐걸?
우리 결혼할까?
Who is taken aback by this sudden happiness and agrees to her proposal. In fact, Lee-hyun had a crush on SAE Bomb for a long time, but he didn't get a response from SAE Bomb. Back when they were in high school, Lee-hyun, facing setbacks in his sports career, just wanted some solitude on the rooftop. However, his presence there unexpectedly drew a crowd of onlookers. SAE Bomb wakes up in her classroom to the sound of a siren, and she thinks it's Lee-hyun who's interrupting her beauty sleep. The police officer is dumbfounded as SAE Bomb walks next to Lee-hyun.
학생! 저기 학생 뭐야? 여자친구야?
아니요. 야, 너 때문에 집에 못 가잖아. 아저씨, 제가 설득할 테니까 잠깐만 거기 계세요.
아니 이 학생들 왜 이래 이거?
Through SAE Bomb's persuasion, Lee-hyun agreed to go down with SAE Bomb. Unexpectedly, in front of everyone, SAE Bomb pushes Lee-hyun off the rooftop. This push made this bad girl live in Lee-hyun's heart forever. Excitedly, SAE Bomb shares the news with her friend Sun-young, who reacts unusually, only offering perfunctory congratulations. Sun-young questions SAE Bomb about the virus, noting her unique survival despite being scratched. SAE Bomb doesn't care about it. Sun-young asks SAE Bomb if any journalists have approached her, offering a large sum of money in exchange for information about the virus. SAE Bomb confirms that she has been approached by reporters, but mentions that they have signed a confidentiality agreement, preventing her from speaking carelessly about the matter. Sun-young nodded his head with a worried look on his face to indicate that this was indeed the case. Alone, Sun-young reveals two dark scars on his neck, suggesting a hidden infection. When and how he contracted the virus remains a mystery. Desperate for money, Sun-young ventures into a horde of zombies to leak exclusive information in exchange for cash. So why did he risk his life? He knows he's already infected with the virus and, facing imminent death, wants to leave some money for his wife and child.
경장님, 어떻게 생각은 좀 해보셨어요?
얼마 줄 수 있습니까?
본부장님이랑 얘기를 좀 해봤는데 내부 영상 있고 저희 쪽 단독 보도하는 조건이면 금액은 최대한 맞춰드릴 수 있을 것 같습니다.
Sun-young cut his wrist with a knife and asked SAE Bomb for help. SAE Bomb, learning of her friend's infection, drops everything to take Sun-young to quarantine. On the way, she continuously comforts and encourages him, asking if he feels extremely thirsty, a known precursor to mutation. So SAE Bomb took Sun-young to the quarantine center. At the quarantine center, Jisoo is skeptical about Sun-young's wound but doesn't probe further after Sun-young insists it's a scratch. Then Jisoo took SAE Bomb to the vaccine room, realizing her friend might be infected. SAE Bomb inquires about the virus. Jisoo told SAE Bomb that in case of being bitten, he will definitely be infected and his condition will get worse and his normal time will be less and less. The infected individuals unpredictably experience intense thirst and attack humans, and currently, There is no known treatment for this condition. Jisoo told SAE Bomb, "You're the luckiest of all." SAE Bomb returns to the testing room after having her blood drawn, and she's just about to ask Sun Young to join her for dinner when she realizes that he's long gone. Through a phone call, SAE Bomb learned the purpose of Sun Young's visit.
나 가족이 있잖아. 이렇게 개 죽은 다음에 나 죽은 이유도 다 비밀로 할 텐데. 그리고 안전 보장되고 돈도 벌 수 있는 방법이 있어.
여보세요? 야, 이승혁!
SAE Bomb quickly informs Jisoo about the situation, understanding the urgency to find Sun Young. Meanwhile, Sun Young, dressed as a staff member, stealthily enters a highly dangerous area. He is stunned by what he sees, and just then, hears the door being locked behind him. He immediately rushed to the door, but it was too late. Trapped among the zombies, Sun Young makes a call to a journalist, resolved to secure money for his family even in death. He courageously picks up his phone and slowly approaches the zombie crowd. SAE Bomb receives Sun Young's final call.
사람이 아니야.
뭐가?
전부.
By the time they find him, it's too late. Amidst numerous growls, SAE Bomb witnesses her once friend, now turned into a zombie, as the terrifying virus continues to spread. The critical question remains, how will they deal with this escalating crisis? Tae-suk and Lee-hyun came here to find out who's been stealing and selling the medicine, but under Tae-suk's coercion, it's clear they don't know where the drugs come from. Then when did Tae-suk and Lee-hyun form an alliance? The alliance between Tae-suk and Lee-hyun formed when Tae-suk, having heard of Lee-hyun's reputation as a famous detective, approached him with a bag of money, seeking his help in the drug investigation. Lee-hyun, on a marriage leave with SAE Bomb and with time to spare, agreed to take on the task, choosing not to involve SAE Bomb to avoid dampening her spirits. The contracted couple slept in the same room and did nothing. The next day, SAE Bomb, with her freshly prepared rice cakes in hand, decided to visit her neighbors. A little girl, with a friendly smile, opened the door for SAE Bomb. After politely accepting the gift, Seo Yoon wanted to accompany SAE Bomb to deliver the gift. However, a closed door blocked their path. Seo Yoon suggested they should take the elevator instead, but SAE Bomb, undeterred, kicked the door open with a few strong kicks, showcasing her formidable strength. Meanwhile, SAE Bomb has gained a little fangirl. After knocking on the door, the owner of the house is a lawyer, and he's very cautious because of his profession. Haesung throws away the rice cake that SAE Bomb gave him, fearing that SAE Bomb was sent by his enemy to assassinate him. Later, SAE Bomb came to the neighbor's door upstairs. After several unanswered knocks, she was about to give up when she heard a noise inside. Curiosity drove her to press her ear to the door. The sudden appearance of the woman startles SAE Bomb. Woman accepts SAE Bomb's gift very unkindly. When she opens the door, there's really someone inside. The complicated relationship makes you think twice. As SAE Bomb was descending the stairs, she encountered a young man. Embarrassed, she accepted a mask he offered and, unable to refuse his request, promised to get him a Special Forces t-shirt. After a busy day, where all her neighbors, except Seo Yoon, seemed strange and eccentric, SAE Bomb didn't ponder much and went straight to sleep. The thumping and banging upstairs at night made SAE Bomb dream of the moment Jongtae went crazy. SAE Bomb, who was woken up by the banging, vaguely felt that something was wrong. Lee-hyun tries to go up to check, but SAE Bomb stops her. What direction will the story take next? Who is secretly selling the medicine? And can the zombie virus be controlled?